At the President's Summit. Zor, thank you very much for joining us for happy hour. First of all, let me get what your takeaway was from being front row seat at that summit yesterday with the Treasury Secretary, Timothy Geithner. Do you feel more positive you'll be able to create jobs?
Well, absolutely. I mean, besides being a very fit man, he seemed to be very sincere in listening to the needs of small business owners and our, I guess, inability to access credit at this point. There's a lot of opportunity out there for government contracts, both at the state and federal levels. We just really need the tools to grasp those opportunities, and we're just really fired up and ready to work.
Zor, you mentioned that there's a lot of opportunity with government contracts out there, and I think that's what everybody's concerned about. You guys had to go out and try and find stimulus demand that you could actually try and fill. And you're also a minority-owned business, so you sort of get the double whammy. The federal government's trying to help you, both as a small business and as a minority-owned business. Can you provide jobs in the private sector, or are you wholly dependent upon the federal government channeling my tax dollars towards you?
Well, this is an interesting question because, I mean, just for a point of fact, a lot of the business owners were, it was a bipartisan crowd. Myself, being from Arizona, I'm an independent. One of the projects that we're looking at right now that we have bids pending is the Diamondbacks Colorado Rockies training facility, which stimulus package money allowed for Salt River Indian community to issue tax-exempt bonds, raise money from the private sector to fund this new facility, which is going to create hundreds, if not thousands, of jobs in that immediate area.
Amen.
Zor, also, let's talk about that issue that everyone walking away from that job summit yesterday saying it's the access to credit. This is really frustrating because we bailed out Wall Street. We bailed out these financial institutions, the banks that said, they sold it to us saying the whole financial system was going to collapse and businesses wouldn't get credit and they'd have to close up shop. Well, the banks are doing fine. They're handing out billions in bonuses, and yet small businesses like yours and many others can't get credit, don't have that credit line. Your credit line was closed by Chase, JP Morgan Chase, one of the bailed out banks. How are they going to resolve this? What did they tell you that's going to solve this?
Well, a lot of the discussion in the meetings centered around really strengthening small to medium-sized local banks, and because really that's who's helping us right now. Commerce Bank, I believe they're out of Connecticut, is one we went to for our new credit line, and that we really feel that there's a strength in having the decision be local. With Chase, we don't know why our credit was called in. We believe that just because of we're a small business construction company, they probably took a bunch of businesses in that sector and just tossed them. Whereas the small banks are right now, they're to pick them up, and we just hope that they're given the incentives to do so.
Zor, you are speaking my language. Aside from the incentives part, I don't think we need any more incentives for special tax tricks or anything, but you're talking that small local business, and that's just it. You're out there meeting with the Treasury Secretary and all those guys who have taken tax dollars to allow Bank of America, Chase, your bank that cut your credit, to roll up the competitors and get ever bigger to squeeze out those smaller competitors.
They were using that money to buy the little banks.
That's just it. Now, though, instead of these guys trying to go out and profitably lend to people like Zor's and his company, we have to lean on them to somehow force them to maybe lend, which might be too risky.
Right.
Zor, final talking point on this. What is your takeaway? Things are going to be better in your life, in Arizona, in the small community, 2 years from today. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we created 100 jobs in the height of the recession, and with the help of the National Center for Native American Economic Development, we're going to add 400 new jobs in the come springtime, when it gets actually warm enough to do construction. Most of our contracts are in Wisconsin. It's freezing cold up there right now, and it'd be really tough to put those guys to work right now.
Excellent. Zor Follwilder, thank you so much for joining us.
Zor, don't feel too bad either. Chase cut my credit line as well.
Well, I still have a personal account with them. I hope they treat me well.
So we're in the same boat.
So we need to lean on Chase to get you a credit line again. I got it. Yeah. Obama, get on that. Thanks so much, Zor. On tap, guys. The suspected 9/11 terrorist will be tried in a Manhattan federal court.